When writing the equation of the line, it is important to identify the different parts or features of the equation of the line. You can be asked to represent the equation in point-slope form, in slope-intercept form, or in standard form. Now, I have a whole other video called standard form and slope-intercept form, so I will not be covering this version, the standard form, in this video, but I will be going over the point-slope form and the slope-intercept form. Each of the forms shows you what you need to complete the form, and it also shows you what you can see if you are given the form. For your point-slope form, you need a point and a slope, or the slope of the line, in order to write it in point-slope form. Your point is x1, y1, and remember that every point is in the form x comma y, and the letter m is used to generally represent slope. So again, x1, y1, and m is the point and slope that you'll need in order to fill in this equation to show the equation of the line in point-slope form. Now for slope-intercept form, you need the slope and the y-intercept. From the equation, you can also see m, again, representing the slope, and so b represents your y-intercept. Now in both forms, it's important to recognize that the slope is absolutely necessary in writing the equation of the line. So the slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. From this formula, if I were to cross multiply, then I would get y2 minus y1 is equal, and let's put this over 1, is equal to m times x2 minus x1. So really, the slope is important because that is how we actually derive our point-slope formula. So if we compare these two, we see that they are the same. And in fact, the point-slope form simplifies to the slope-intercept form of the equation of the line. Now we'll go over some examples of how to find the equation of a line, whether in point-slope form or slope-intercept form, given these 4 different options. Sometimes we'll be given the graph, sometimes 2 points, sometimes the slope and a point, sometimes the slope and the y-intercept. And we'll go over an example of each.
Hey, if you haven't liked, shared, or subscribed yet, go do that now. Okay, bye.
Let's take the graph first. Now I have 2 examples for these because sometimes we're given, or we can see the y-intercept, and sometimes we're not sure, so I will show you how to do both. Now, when given a graph, it's generally easier to find the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. So I will write preferred here, slope-intercept form. Because we can see the y-intercept here, which is where the graph or the line crosses the y-axis, and we can easily find the slope. Even though we can use the formula y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1 to find the slope, which would require 2 points, we can also recall that slope is rise over run. Now when you think of rise, you think of going up. So we can count for our slope upwards, and that would be positive. If, however, we're counting downwards, that count will be negative. Our run, when we think of run, we think of running forward. So if we're going to the right, that's going to be a positive result, and to the left, it will be negative. So let's identify the slope from the graph without calculating it. We'll start with this precise point. We need to use precise points. And the other precise point is here. So how we're going to calculate the slope is by going up here and then this direction. And we want to travel from this point to this one in a straight line. So let's count our rise. This is 1, 2. Since we're going up, that count will be positive. And now we're going to the left, 1, 2, 3 units, so that will be negative 3. So the slope for this example would be negative 2 over 3. Now we can see that the y-intercept, where the line crosses the y-axis, is 0, so b is equal to 0. Since we have the slope and the y-intercept, it would be better to use the slope-intercept form for this example. So this would be y equal m, which is negative 2 over 3, x plus b, which is 0. So again, we're using this form. Since adding 0 will not affect change, then it's just negative 2 over 3x. And that would be the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. Sometimes though, given the graph, you're not able to clearly see what the y-intercept is. Now I'll assume it's 5, but just to be safe, we're going to calculate the slope and try to find the y-intercept as well. So we'll take this precise point and we will travel to this precise point. And for count, we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 units up. So that's a positive 9. And then we'll go 1 unit to the right, which is a positive 1. So the slope for this example is 9. Now I'll take this precise point, which is negative 1, negative 4. And since I have a point and the slope, I will use the point-slope form of the equation of the line. So I'll fill in the point x1, y1, and also m. So y minus y1 equal m, x minus x1. We will swap out y1, and you can label this as well as your x1, y1. So y minus negative 4 equal m, which is 9, x minus x1, which is negative 1. Let's clean up our consecutive signs. So this is y plus 4 equal 9, x plus 1. Now this is the point-slope form of the equation of the line, so we can stop here. But if you are asked for the slope-intercept form, then all you'd have to do here is simplify, because remember, your point-slope form simplifies to your slope-intercept form. So let's simplify this. This is y plus 4 equal, and we can distribute here. So that's equal to 9x plus 9. And then if we subtract 4, then I'll move over here. Y equal 9x, and then 9 minus 4 is 5. So notice you can stop here if you are asked for the point-slope form, Or you can simplify the point-slope form and you will see the slope-intercept form, which is in the form y equal mx plus b. So notice it's showing you the slope, that it is 9, and it is also showing you that your y-intercept is 5. Now from this example, we can clearly see that the line does cross through 5, so it was sufficient to find the slope, which was 9, and replace b with 5, which is what we ended up with. But sometimes you will be able to find another precise point that does not show the line crossing through the y-axis, and so this is the way you would approach that question. Now let's see what would happen if we had 2 points. Say you're given the points 3, 4, and 5, 8. Now, of course, since you have points and you have to find the slope, point slope would probably be the better one to use in this case. Let's though find the slope using the formula. Every point is in the form x comma y, and so you must label them set 1, so x1, y1, and then set 2, x2, y2. Then using the formula, m equal y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, you can simply replace y2, y1, x2, and x1 with the different numbers that are labeled. So we labeled y2 as 8, y1 as 4, x2 as 5, and x1 as 3. So 8 minus 4 is 4, 5 minus 3 is 2, 4 divided by 2 is 2. So our slope is 2. The formula asked for x1, y1, and m, which we did label 3, 4 as our x1, y1, and we have our slope of 2. Keep in mind that you could also use this point, since it is a point on the line that we use to find the slope, but we're just going to work with the first one because we labeled it x1, y1. So again, y minus y1 equal m, x minus x1. Y minus y1, which is 4, equal m, which is 2, x minus x1, which is 3. We do not replace this y or this x. This would be the point slope form. Of course, if you are asked for slope-intercept form, then we need to simplify. So this would be y minus 4 equals 2x minus 6, and then we can add 4 on both sides of the equation to see our slope-intercept form, which is y equal 2x, and negative 6 plus 4 is negative 2. So this will be the slope-intercept form. So we've covered what to do if we have 2 points. We would use the point-slope form. So this one is generally preferred, and you can always simplify from your point-slope form. Now for the slope and a point, again, would be using the point-slope form. And if you need to simplify, you would simplify that to the slope-intercept form. So I will just write the point-slope form, but keep in mind, just like we did before, you can simplify to achieve the slope-intercept form. So this is y minus y1 equal m, x minus x1. We'll label our point x1, y1, and of course we know our slope is m, so we'll just fill those in. So y minus 5 equal m, which is 5 over 3, x minus x1, which is 3, and we're done here. Again, simplify to get to your slope-intercept form. Sometimes, however, we're told that our slope is undefined. In this case, we have to recognize that that means we have a vertical line. If we were to imagine what that would look like, you would have your x and y axis and the point 5, 1. Let's say this is 5 and this is 1. The point would be located here. So if I were to draw a vertical line through this point, and I completely missed that, right here, then really this is at x equal 5, and so the equation of this line is just x equal 5. Again, lines with undefined slopes are vertical lines, and so that would just occur at x equal 5, and this would be the equation of that line. If your slope is 0, however, then you have a horizontal line. So if we were to think about this one, at -2, 5, let's say -2 is here and 5 is here, then our point would be located somewhere here. Now, if I were to draw a horizontal line through this, then that would occur at y equal 5, and so the equation of this line is y equal 5. So these would be the equations if you have an undefined slope or if your slope was 0. So just keep this in mind. Let's move on to the slope and the y-intercept. So if your slope is 5 and your y-intercept is -7, you have the slope and the y-intercept. That means you will use the slope-intercept form. So you will write the form y equal mx plus b, and all you have to do is replace m with 5 and replace b with -7, so that it would be y equal 5x minus 7. And it would be done. In these cases, you're generally not asked to write this in point-slope form because you would need a point. So if you are asked to find the equation of the line and you're given the slope and the y-intercept, the slope-intercept form would generally be the method or the equation of the line, the form that you're asked for. This, however, looks like a point-slope question because I have the point 0, 1 and the slope of -2. If you do not recognize that this point actually represents the y-intercept, then you can surely include that in your point-slope form and you'd be done. But if you recognize that this is your y-intercept because x is 0, then you can simply fill it in just like you did before. So y equal m, which is -2, x plus b, which would be 1 in this case. So remember, if your x value is 0, your y value is actually the y-intercept because that is where the line will cross the y-axis. So you can simply just write out the equation. Or again, if you cannot recognize that, simply label it x1, y1, plug it into your point-slope form, and simplify to get your slope-intercept form. Hopefully this video is helpful in helping you to find the equation of a line in either point-slope form or slope-intercept form.